All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is. And that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, which means in the name. Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation. And that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites. All right. Now, the lesson topic, our title is Wickedness Must Be Sown. Okay. Wickedness, unrighteousness must be sown in the earth. All right. And that's what we're seeing right now. All right. We're seeing the fruits of the wicked, being sown. All right. Who is the wicked? Pursuant to Job 9:24, it says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Now, the wicked is a people, all right, known as the Edomites, Esau, Edom. All right. And this is why you see the world, the earth is such shambles. All right. Because the wicked is in rulership. All right. And it has to be this way. OK, because why? We're going to see how righteousness is once the righteous are in authority. OK, because now the people are mourning. You see, the people are upset. They're not at ease because why? Wickedness must be sown. OK, because if not, righteous cannot come. All right, because as it says in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, in the 9th verse, it says Esau, who is the wicked, is the end of this world, which is an age, an era. All right. Now, this is the last heathen to rule, pursuant to the breakdown that Daniel gave pertaining to Nebuchadnezzar's dream. All right. Esau would be in rulership when Yahweh Shai returns. All right. That's who's in rulership right now, the Edomites, okay? They're in power, and this is why the Lord has allowed them to be set up, because He's going to bring them down with great fashion in a great spectacular way, all right? And that's why they're going to say, is this the man? Because why? The Lord took the base of man, Esau, and rose him up to a level where the world revered and looked at him as being some type of hero or some type of, power. But it was all for the sake of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to receive that glory, all right? And He's giving this devil the technology that he's using now to what? Get ready to come with that great wrath, okay? Because make no mistake about it, this devil is getting ready to come in with great wrath, all right? Now it's being said that what? ICE can go to door and even knock in your door, all right? Without a warrant signed by the judge, okay? So now we're going to see this devil really bear his horns and show them to you, all right? Because he knows he has but a short time. Now, let me get this in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter, 4 and verse 29? Let me see, 2nd Ezra 4 and 29. It reads, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So what we're seeing is the wicked flourishing in the sense that they're in power, all right? And the Lord is going to shortly take them out of it, but it must be sown, and they must turn the earth upside down, which we currently see they doing a bang up job, okay? They're doing an excellent job, all right? And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse as we move forward, all right? Now, if you're not on the right side with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, when this devil come in like a flood, guess what? You're going to be part of that, all right? You're going to be part of that. You're going to be part of that number that gets taken by this devil, okay? And he's playing for keeps, all right? He's moving in such a way where if the Lord isn't on your side, you're through. You're finished. There's nothing you can do, all right? Because this devil is covering all angles, okay? And if the Lord ain't with you, you're going to be taken by him, all right? And understand, wickedness must be sown. And we haven't even seen really the full brunt of it, all right? Because Jacob's trouble, you're going to see exactly how wicked this devil is, man, all right? Once Jacob's trouble hits, like we in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble now, we seeing troops with tanks coming to neighborhoods predominantly where Israelites are located at, all right? And Yahushua gave us the warning back then, pertaining to 70 AD, but guess what? That still pertains to these days now, all right? When he says, when you shall see the abomination of desolation stand in the holy place where they are not to be, them who read this flee to the mountains, okay? Well, guess what? We're starting to see more and more tanks, all right? That isn't normal, man, all right? We're seeing tanks. We're seeing a heavy, uptake in military police, whether it's agents such as ICE, DHS, so on and so forth, all right? We're seeing an uptake in that because why? This devil is getting ready to come in with great wrath, man, all right? Knowing that he has but a short time. So this is his play, all right? He's getting ready to come in, and really show you them horns, man, all right? And hey, once he show them to you, he ain't gonna put them back in, all right? Once he show you his horns, there's no turning back. He's not going to put them back in, all right? So wickedness must be sown, and they're turning the world upside down. They've already turned it upside down. They had us for the longest to believe that, Jesus was a so-called white man, all right? They gave us the image of Caesar Borgia, and along with that, a false doctrine, all right? God loved the world. They broke that down the wrong way. When he only loves the Israelites, that's the world, all right? That Gentiles can be saved. Those Gentiles that can be saved are Israelites, see? So wickedness has been sown, but guess what? It's going to be sown even more, all right? And this place is going to get turned upside down even more, all right? Once Yahushua comes, and we seeing that, all right? Because he's the only one that's going to turn things back the right side up, okay? You see? There's judgment going right here, man, okay? It's judgment that's played all along. That's why, hey, it's best to be on the side of righteousness, man. All right, because this devil, hey, like stated earlier, once he shows them horns, there's no turning back, man. All right, and the Lord has to allow him to sow his wickedness, because why? He's going to destroy it. All right. Now, speaking of America, the United States of America, once this place is destroyed, there will be no more inhabitants here to, live. But speaking of the Holy Land, Jerusalem, once that is destroyed, this other nations, they're going to be our slaves. They're going to build that back up. All right. So I also want to get this precept going to that, if I can, next time I come to a stop. But I'll just talk, leading up into that, because we see how much, righteousness or lack thereof that those small hats are doing, where they got Rainbow Day parades over there. You know what I'm talking about. Same gender, just completely and utterly, making a mockery of the Holy Land. That's why it has to be destroyed, man. And it's going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles, okay? Because we're not going to build on someone else's foundation, particularly the wicked foundation. That land has to be cleansed, okay? That land has to be cleansed, all right? And it will be, you see, pursuing the prophecy, okay? And then the other nations, they going into slavery, beginning with Esau, Edom, and they're going to build that land up, the Holy Land, all right? We're not going to inhabit that land until it's completely taken down by thermonuclear fire in World War III, all right? So I want to get this precept in 2nd Ezra, the 10th chapter, and I believe it's the 52 or 53rd verse, showing you that, hey, we can't go into a land unless it be completely desolated, man. And that land is the land of Israel, all right, where it's currently being inhabited by those small hats, man. And they completely turned our land upside down. So the Lord has to set things back upright, and in doing so, He has to reset the whole earth, man. All right, the whole earth is going to be resetted. All right, once Yahweh Shai comes. All right, but until then, wickedness has to be sown. All right, and hey, we just got to continue to bear it, man. All right, be a good soldier. Do what's asked and required of us until that time. All right, so that when Yahweh Shai returns, we be delivered, all right, out of the land of our captivity. All right. And speaking of Jerusalem, hey, we already know those are imposters that's over there. All right. Those aren't the biblical Israelites, man. That's why you see they don't fit none of the prophecies. You see, it says when the true biblical Israelites return to the Holy Land, there will be no more wars. And also other nations will come to them saying, let us, learn. You don't see any other nations going to Israel right now trying to learn and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Because why? Wickedness must be sown. Those are the imposters, all right? Those aren't the biblical Israelites. Now, when we, the true biblical Israelites, get into power, we're going to have all the other nations coming, making that once a year pilgrim to, keep the high holy day, all right? And if they don't, guess what? They ain't gonna get rain for their crops, and they gonna wither, all right? So we're gonna put everything back into place and back into power under Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right? But we just gotta continue to endure, although it vexes us, because we get tired of living in this wicked, unrighteous world ran by Esau, Edom. But we understand, man, prophecy has to be fulfilled, all right? And that's why it says, he that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So this ain't nothing for your occasional or seasonal Israelite. You got to be in this thing full-hearted, man, all right? You got to be in this thing wholeheartedly. You got to believe with all your might, with all your mind, all right? That we coming to the end of this wicked rulership. All right. And the Lord's going to set things back up straight, man. All right. And hey, we just want to make it. Okay. We just want to make it. All right. That's our main thing. Okay. We don't care if the last 144,000 are the innumerable number. All right. We just trying to get to the chariots. All right. The so-called UFOs. All right. Lord willing, we be found worthy enough to receive that salvation, that mercy. All right. So let me see if I can get 2nd Ezra chapter 10 in verse. Let me go there. 2nd Ezra 10 in verse. I mean, I've been catching some lights. Usually you don't catch this many lights, but hey, roll with it. Roll with it. 2nd Ezra 10 in verse 50. 50, I believe it's 2. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and 50. Okay, here we go. We got a light right here called Halayim La Yahweh Bahashim Mashiach Yahweh Shai. I can read this precept. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 10 and verse 52. It reads, for I knew that the highest would show this unto thee. Verse 53. Therefore I commanded thee to go into the field where no foundation of any building was. 2nd Ezra 10 and 54. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to show his city, there can no man's building be able to stand. See? So Esau, Edom, man, all your infrastructure is going to get taken down. You're going to get removed out of power because you won't have no co-heir ruling with Yahweh Shai. All right. It's going to be Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai and none other. All right. As it says, besides me, there is no other gods, man. See? So now you have man's buildings. You got man's religions. You got everything contrary to what the word is, because the wicked must be sown. But once we get into rulership and power, it ain't gonna be no buildings, no mosque, no temples, in the sense that you worshiping other idols and deities and gods. No, it's only gonna be one power, and his name is Yahweh, and his only begotten son, Yahweh Shah. That's it. You ain't serving no other deity or entity or anything. All right. And speaking on the Holy Land, we already know all that's going to be destroyed. All right. Because why? We're not inhabiting some land, the Holy Land, as it's been defiled by these Gentiles. All that has to be taken out of power. All that has to be done away with. All right. Lord willing. Okay. We be part of that, number that gets to go on the first round, and we see all this. We see all of this through the eyes of the elect. All right. Lord willing. You see? And this is what you ought to be praying for and meditating and thinking on. It's what? Prophecy. All right? Because at the end of the day, this is the only thing that matters is prophecy. All right? Everything else pales in comparison. All right? But see, we understand that wickedness has to be sown. All right? And then righteousness can come. And that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on a righteous rulership. All right? Lord willing, we be found worthy of that. Okay? So I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up, in this little, driving at night, lesson. So we're going to wrap this up, and with that being said, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Until the next time, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.